Hello everybody. I'm Ryan, and this is the start of reviewing every episode of Hell's Kitchen. So, without further ado, episode 101, day 1, first episode, season 1 of Hell's Kitchen. Back in 2005, intro starts off, we introduced everyone, Ramsay, Jean-Philippe, all the contestants, sous chefs Scott and Mary Ann. Just real quick, I want to talk about the sous chefs. Sous chef Scott stays there from seasons like 1 to 10. He's great. He's a lot like Ramsay. He's strict. He's funny, like in a mean way. He's not nice to most of the competitors. They have to earn his respect, a lot like Ramsay. Mary Ann was nice, but she has mentioned that she does not like being on the show because of the incompetence. But actually, after she leaves, they enforce a minimum, I think, 4 years of culinary experience before you can apply to the show. So I think, yeah, she said nowadays that she'd be fine on the show. So those sous chefs are pretty good as far as the sous chefs go. And then, first off, we introduced the signature dish challenge. I find it odd here how many of them were given very poor ratings during the signature dish thing, but it makes sense that most of these people aren't dedicated cooks, they're just people, you know? I think, only Elsie and Carol Ann got like positive reviews. Elsie definitely is underrated even at this point. She is a mother of 6. They emphasize that a lot. She's a mother of 6, and they definitely, she gives that impression to a lot of the other competitors that she's not well in the kitchen. More on that later. Teams. This is the first season, and they haven't done the gender divide yet, which is interesting. They just separate them to arbitrary teams, which miraculously the teams are pretty balanced. So I don't know if there was work put into that, but this season is definitely the least scripted season out of all of them. We can see that in the confessionals, they sound more just like people talking. It's a lot more natural than in future seasons. Even Ramsay's confessionals are it just feels like people talking. Yeah, so service starts, obviously, the first service of every season sucks. It's never good. But this is also, combine that with season 1, where, spoiler alert, everyone sucks. There's not a whole lot of people here with kitchen experience, no people who worked on the brigade. So Ralph is in the dining room, and for the blue team, both teams do terrible, but Ralph's excellent waiting skills, because it's mentioned later in the season that he has waiting experience, give the blue team the win, which is fair. Both teams were equally terrible during this service. Neither of them could get any food out. Poor Jean-Philippe had to deal with that. So, obviously, it didn't go well. Elsie named Best of the Worst, which I think is great. I'm a big fan of Elsie. I think she was great. So she nominates Carol Ann and Dubry. I think Dubry is, he's definitely not cut out for a kitchen. He's very nice. He's a super sweet guy. He's a funny guy, but he's not cut out for a kitchen. He's very soft. He's very not kitchen material. Carol Ann is just lacking teamwork experience. I think it's totally fair that she was the first to go. In terms of the first ever person eliminated, yeah, it makes sense. It definitely makes a lot of sense. So this episode serves as a pretty good baseline first pilot of the whole show. I think one of the major drawbacks of season 1, or a plus, depending on how you look at it, it's a lot slower, it's less played up, and it's less over the top like future seasons. Now, if you're like me and you love the over the top, you love how insane, like peak insane reality TV Hell's Kitchen is, then this is a bit of a drawback for season 1. Especially in the first episode, there's a lot of pauses and it feels almost unnatural. But that's just more of the human aspect. This season is the most human. It's less scripted. And again, you can see that as a drawback or a positive for this. Episode 1 is, you get Ramsay is really trying to enforce that fact that he is a mean guy. That's like where his reputation is coming from. So he's trying out to be mean. He says to Michael that his palate is like the backside of a cow. The only people, he gives praise to 2 people. It's trying to set the tone of the whole season. I think it does a decent job of this. Overall, it's a pretty decent episode. Don't skip it, obviously. Episode 1 of season 1. This is important stuff. But, it's, definitely a decent episode.